Okay, pre-algebra. Today you are going to learn about markup, and we'll do some more discount things on your assignment today. So what markup is, and you should be doing these notes, continuing these on the notes you took yesterday with discount, because discount and markup, you do the same procedure, just one price goes down and the other price goes up. So what markup is when a store or a company or anything sells a product, when they bought that product from the manufacturer, they would have paid a certain price, and in order to sell the product they have to make the price go up in order to make any money. So say Foot Locker, when they sell their Nikes, they're going to pay Nike so much per pair of shoes, but Foot Locker wants to stay in business, so they're not going to charge the customer the same price. They're going to mark it up to a higher price in order to make money. So that's what markup is. So here, write the definition down, that the amount a store or company marks up an item in order to make a profit. So, for example, a $40 item, if it was marked up 75%, they would be charging the customer $70. So it cost the store $40, they marked it up 75%, they charge the customer $70. All right, so, and if you need to pause to copy the notes, just do that as I go through. All right, so here's our first example. A basketball cost Academy $9. They marked it up 80%. What will the customer pay? So to do this, you're going to do something very similar to what you did with discount yesterday. We're going to take the $9 and we're going to multiply by the markup amount, and 80% written as a decimal. We're going to move that decimal 2 places to the left, and it's 0.80, and so I'm just going to use 0.8 so I can drop off that final 0. Remember, multiplication, you don't have to line them up. So I have 0, 0, and then 72, and then I'm going to add in my decimal place, which we see that there are 3 numbers after a decimal, so it's going to go over 1, 2, 3, and I don't have to round anything. I can see that my markup amount is $7.20, but that's not what the customer is going to pay, because we then have to add it on to our original price. So that's going to tell us what the new amount is. So add it on to the original price. So one thing I didn't have is I don't have a place. Hang on. Go to a new page. Hang on. Let me just go to the next page. All right. So what I want you to do is I want you to write down, I know I have a blank page here somewhere. Hang on. I'm going to go, okay. To find, I want you to write this down. To find markup amount, multiply by the percent written as a decimal, and add to the original amount. Okay, so that is when you're trying to find what the customer will pay, the new amount. Okay, so write that down. You can pause while I go back to, and then write this down and then start it up again. I'm going to go back to the page we were on. Okay, so here we have a pair of hiking boots, costs backwoods $65.50. They mark it up 75%, so what does the customer pay? So we're going to take our $65.50, multiply it by our percent written as a decimal, which is 0.75. They just happen to line up this time, and then we're going to multiply. So 5 times 0 is 5, that's 25. 25 again, plus 2 is 27. 30, and then 32. And there's 0. 7 times 0 is 0, that's 35. 35 again, so 38. 42 plus 3 is 45. We're going to add those up. We get 0, 5, 12, 10, 11, 9, and 4. And then we look to see how many numbers are after a decimal. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go over 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have $49.125, 0. So we need to round to the nearest cent, a lot like what we did yesterday. And the 2 is in the cents place. Remember, it was always second place after the decimal. The 5 is going to make that 2 go up, so the markup amount is $49.13. That's not what the customer is going to pay because they also have to pay, that's how much the store is going to make, but they have to pay that amount the store paid as well. So we need to add it on. And we have 3, 5, 14, 10, $11. So $114.53 is what, oh, you can't see that very well. $114.53 is what the customer will pay for those pair of hiking boots. All right, let's move on. So this time, what you're going to be doing is you might be asked to find the markup or discount percent. So you're given both amounts, the starting amount, the new amount, whether you're marking something up or getting a discount. But so if you're asked to find the percent, it is the exact same thing as finding the percent of change, because a markup percent is a percent of change. It goes up in price. A discount is also a percent in change because it goes down in price. Remember, percent of change is change divided by original. So we're going to do a few examples of those. Okay, so what is the markup percent on an item that cost the store $65 and is marked up to $120? So remember, to do that change over original, to find the change, you subtract the two amounts. So 120 is the bigger amount, so I'm going to say 120. I'm just going to drop off those final zeros. Minus 65, and that gives me $55. Okay, so that is my change. 55 goes on top. My original amount is always the first one, whatever was you were told first, before it's marked up or discounted. So it's 55 over 65. I'm going to go to the next page to do this problem. Oh, I thought I had a page in there. Okay, let me go on right here. So I have 55 over 65. So I'm going to divide 65 into 55. Now here, it's probably not going to work out evenly, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4 zeros. I'm going to round to the nearest tenth of a percent. So add 4 zeros, and just trust me, when you're done with that fourth zero, you're going to round and move the decimal over 2 places. Alright, so 65 into 55, 550. I know it's probably not going to be 9, so I'm sure it's going to be 8. So I'll try that out. That's 40. 48 plus 4 is 52. Yep. So I'm going to put 8 up here, so 520. Then I have 3, 0. Drop my next 0 down. It's going to go into that 4 times, probably. And that's 20, 24, 26. Alright, so I'm going to put 4 up here. Oops. There we go. Okay. And then 40 there. Drop my next 0 down. 65 into 400 is probably going to go 6 times. That's 30, 39, or 36, and then 339. So yeah, 390. So that was, what did I say, 6? And then that only leaves 10. So drop my last 0 down, and I know it goes in there only once, and it doesn't really matter that I have 35 remaining because I've done the last 0. So what's going to happen is we're going to round this to the nearest tenth of a percent. Okay, first I'm going to go ahead and move my decimal over, and this is now in a percent state. That 1 is going to make this 6 stay the same, so we have 84.6%. Again, so if you have one that doesn't work out evenly, add 4 zeros, stop after you do the last 0, and round that last place to the second place. And you will write it as a tenth of a percent like this. Alright, so let's do another example. So it was marked up 84.6%. And that was for that problem. Alright, so looking at the next one, what is the discount percent on an item that originally cost $80 and is marked down to 50? So this time we're doing a markdown, but we're still finding a percent. We're given both the old amount and the new amount. So again, that's change over original. And to do the change, we subtract. So 80 minus 50 is 30. And the change goes on top, and we're going to divide that by our original. And here the original is the original price, so $80. And so now I'm going to go to a page and do this division. So I had 30 on top and 80 on bottom. So I'm finding the discount amount, so I'm going to put 30 inside. Add my decimal, move it up. I'm going to go ahead and add 4 zeros because we need to see how many places we go. 80 goes into 300 3 times, that's 240. When we subtract, we get 60. I'm going to drop down my next 0. 80 goes into 600 7 times, because 8 times 7 is 56, so this is 560. When I subtract, I have 40 left over. I drop this down, and 80 goes into 400 5 times evenly, and that's 400. So I didn't need my last 0 because it worked out to this point. So what I'm going to do now to change it into a percent, because if you're finding the percent, you always have to, the last step is to move the decimal 2 places to the right. And now we just have 1/10 of a percent, so that's good. So we're going to write 37.5%. So it was discounted 37.5%. That's it. Your examples today will be questions doing various things. You might be finding how much it was, what the new price is after marking it up. You might be doing discount like yesterday, where you're given a discount percent and what's the new price. You might be finding the markup or discount percent, and that's what we just did, percent of change. Read the questions carefully and see what information you have. If you have two amounts, then you're going to be finding a percent. If you have an amount and a percent, you're either going to be finding the new amount after marking it up or the new amount after discounting it. So read the questions carefully and let me know if you have any questions, but you will have to type out the question for me because I don't have the handout with me at home. So anyway, good luck, and I will see you guys on Monday. Stay safe this weekend.